So, like I was saying, you got some friends that you've just got a lot of shared experience with. But here's a little test as to whether or not somebody's a friend. If your car broke down in the middle of the night, would you call them? And after you called them, would they come and help you? Right? If you found out that you were pregnant, or your husband or your wife or your girlfriend was pregnant, could you call and tell them, and would they be happy for you? Could you cry on their shoulder? If you wanted to. You may not be a crier. I'm not much of a crier, although I did a lot of it in December. That was a weird emotional time, but, I went with it. But could you cry on their shoulder? Could you confide in them? Could you go to them in confidence? If you don't feel like you could, they are not your friend, or you are not their friend. It goes both ways. The door swings both ways. When you talk to your friends, do you boost them up? Do you lift them up? For the most part, my friends and I, we don't make fun of each other. Sometimes we have a little jabs, but it's little jabs. A lot of guys do a lot of, beating up on each other, sometimes physically, but I don't really get down with that. I don't, because if I'm going to insult you, a lot, and you're going to insult me a lot, then, that's going into my subconscious, that's going into your subconscious. That's not really improving either of us. That's not lifting either of us up. And as I've said again and again, I see the best in you. I see the best in my friends too. And that's why they like being my friend, because I see what's great in them, right? Now, not every friend is going to be this just deep-seated soulmate connection, right? I got some friends that get 80 or 90% of me. I think I got one or two friends that even get 100% of me. And it's a strange thing. Before I got married when I was 25, and I'm going to be 32 this week, in 2 days as of this recording. So, all I wanted in a relationship was to have one human being that I could share everything with, that I could tell everything with, that I could talk to God about, that I could see movies with, that could know I'm a comic book geek inside. You guys may not know this, but I'm actually a pretty big nerd. I just hide it pretty well. Okay? But I am. And I wanted somebody that could at least see all of me, even if I did not always share that with them. Does that make sense? And I have to say, I've been lucky to have found that. But when I've gotten older, I've kind of become a little less guarded and a little more open. Like I said, I don't really have any secrets anymore. So you may have friends then that are your football friends, that you get together and you watch the game. You're not going to talk politics with them, but you're going to hang out and have a good time and watch the game. That is fine. You might have your girl that's your club girl, and you go hang out with her on the weekends, but you are not going to let her babysit your children, and you're not going to leave her alone with your man, okay? That's fine, as long as you know that that's the relationship that you're having, and within that, you're being open and honest within that relationship. Does that make sense? Because if you're constantly having to play games, if you're constantly having to keep up walls, if you're constantly having to keep this person out, they're not your friend. Then what are you keeping them around for? Okay? Which leads to, how do you break up with these friends? Because you get a lot of momentum going in these relationships, and it can be hard to kind of step back from it when it's run its course. Because like any relationship, friendships sometimes run their course. Now, there's a strange thing, and I think this is kind of a Mars-Venus type thing. For the most part with guys, if you didn't have a falling out, you can call one of your bros 10 years later. It'll be like, hey man, how are you? Oh, great, got 2 kids, live in Chicago now. How about you? Oh, I'm awesome, I got 3, I'm an attorney in New York. Good times. And guys are back like this again. I don't know, it's just something we can do. Women, it takes longer to get there. Now, this isn't true of everybody. It's not true of every man. It's not true of every woman. I'm just saying, in general, men reconnect fast. Okay? But if it has run its course, this is some of the ways you can do it. You probably can't just sit down and talk it out with them, because if you could sit down and talk it out with them, your relationship probably would not have run its course by now. But instead of calling every day, call every other day. When they call or text you, respond to every other message or every third message. When they ask you to get together and go do something, Go out every other time, become increasingly busier, and you'll just sort of normally drift apart. Remember I said if left to their own devices, things fall apart. Things get more chaotic. Relationships end. They do not grow unless you keep them alive. So you don't have to keep alive a toxic relationship. You can kind of starve it out, to tell you the truth. And if this is a person, by the way, this is something completely different. If you can't tell the truth to this person, they're not your friend. Everybody that knows me or has dealt with me extensively knows I love you enough that I will tell you the truth. If you don't want to know the truth, if you don't want to know what I really think, don't ask me, okay? Like if you're going to go and sleep with somebody who's married and you know it's wrong, and you want me to just tell you that it's okay, I'm not gonna, okay? Sorry, Or if there's something that you know you should change, that you know what's right and wrong, I'm not going to tell you that it's okay when you know it's not okay, okay? And that's how you should be with your friends. If you've got a relationship, again, I keep repeating this because you've got to hear it. And a lot of you are going to watch this and you're still not going to hear it. It's going to be like, meow, right? That's for my Peanut fans. Meow. If you can't tell this person the truth, if you can't talk to them, if they ask you your opinion and you share it, and that's a problem, you're not really friends. And the opposite is true. If you ask your friend their opinion and they give it to you and you can't handle it, you can't handle the truth, then you may not be their friend either, right? See, it's so easy to get caught up in this like weird BS competitive thing that really is pulling both of you down. And it's just like dating the wrong person or being in a relationship with the wrong person. It is better to be alone than to be with the wrong person, okay? Now, maybe you're having difficulty finding and making new friends, okay? It's the year 2010. You can find people anywhere on the internet. Go on Facebook, go on MySpace, find a message board of something you're into and just start typing on the message board, making friends with people. I got like almost 1,200 friends in a month and a half from doing this. And you'll meet some really great people. And you can find new people in new places with new experiences. There's meetup groups. You can look up Meetup for your area and find people getting together, doing and talking about things that you want to do, right? It's never been like this before. All of humanity has never been so connected as it is right now. And so the fact that you've just known somebody since you were 8 years old really isn't that big of a deal anymore. Just like you can shop for a relationship now through online dating or whatever that I've talked about in the past, you can shop for friendships now. And it's the same thing. If you decide you want to hang with a certain type of person, it's the same way you find a relationship. Decide where is that person and start hanging out there. What kind of person would they want to hang out with and become that? If you're a big mixed martial arts fans and you want, new MMA friends, then train in MMA yourself, right? You'll meet those types of people. You can get out there. Now, I'm going to cut this one short today because, like I said, I have to explain my holiday promotion and for my international brothers and sisters what you got to do. So I'm going to stop talking now. But again, look at your friends. Figure out who you want with you. Who do you want with you in 50 years? Who would you let babysit for you? Who would be your best man, your maid of honor? Who would you call in the middle of the night? Who would you call in a snowstorm? Who can you tell the truth and who will tell the truth to you? I will. I love you. If you've only got one friend, it's going to be me, right? So, I love you. Okay, find me anywhere. Facebook, MySpace, Twitter. B. Dave Walters. I love you. Bye-bye. One quick note. For my brothers and sisters that don't live in the United States that are trying to sign up for things or make purchases on my website, peacelovemoney.com, let me explain one quick thing. When you first choose to check out, it will ask you to register, and the information is only there for the United States. I apologize for that. So it doesn't really matter what you choose right there, as long as you put in the right email address. So you can pick any state, any city for the phone number, any 10 digits, for the zip code, any 5 digits. It doesn't matter what you choose. When you go to the next step, when it lets you enter in your credit card information, then you will be able to choose your city, your country, and that's where it's important that you choose the right thing. The first screen doesn't matter. It's all electronic download anyway. It's not going to be shipped. You'll be able to get it instantly, and then you'll be able to enter the correct payment information. I apologize for the inconvenience, but there's no way around it. Thank you again for your support. I love you. Bye.